Hi everybody, I'm taking advantage of some sunshine and making this video I've wanted to share for a bit. I was asked a few questions about hand stitching and tips about it being helpful, so I just thought I'd share a few things. I have a comfy chair that I sit in. That is the best way. I love my hand stitching. Just get in the chair, put my feet up. Sometimes I bend my knees to put my patches against, but I've got something else that I mostly use that I'll show you in a minute. Now on the beside my comfy chair I have a trunk, and on that trunk I pull out and leave this bowl, this pretty bowl, with just the things I use most at that minute. So I've got my spool. This is a new addition, my spool with the little bit of a pin cushion that I can keep my scissors really handy and just right there. I have a thimble in case I need to use a thimble, and in this case I have a little, this is from a strawberry from an old pin cushion that I like to keep to sharpen needles sometimes if they get a bit dull. I have my little needle book with some extra needles inside, and my threader, and even this little tiny seam ripper. I have a little plastic container that I put tiny threads and things in, and when this gets full I put that over into my filling up a pillowcase for the cat's bed scrap thing. I've mentioned it on another video. And my little pin cushion with my most used needles and some little pins. So that's just my, right now this is the tools that I have to use. And then also I have a bigger basket close by that is project dependent. Right now the block I'm using, I've got threads for it, some basting thread for basting stitches, and some trims and things because it's for the current block that I'm working on. And whatever block I'm working on, this has the bigger items, the threads and things that I might be using for it. Now on the thing I was mentioning that I use the most, I've heard of trays, to use a tray, but the firmness of the tray is not comfortable for me. So what I do is I have a pillow that happens to be, this is a square, but it happens to fold nicely. And I know it's hard to see with this video, but what I like about the pillow sitting on my lap is it's not heavy. It gives me flexibility, and I put a flannel pillowcase on it because it allows me to put the block on that I'm currently working on, and it's not going to slip off, and it allows me to just have the pieces really close by. Plus the pillow, it's a pillow, I get to put a pin in if I need to hold something with a pin. So this has been a great addition to my hand stitching. But sometimes you need a firm surface to make sure your block is straight, and when you go to pin it or baste it or whatever. Now I have this is a wooden lap desk. There's nothing underneath, it's just a wooden board. But the reason I don't use this I use it to write on my lap and that kind of thing, but the reason I don't use it for the stitching pinning thing is because I don't want the pins to scratch the wood. So what I use instead, and I have to say, and again, this is a weird thing for you to see, this is a sheet of acrylic. It's like an eighth of an inch thick, and it is so useful. This is like, I don't know, 15 inches by a foot maybe. I can put my block on it on top of the pillow, and I have a firm surface to keep my block on. I can put pins in there and this won't scratch, and if it does, it doesn't matter. And then besides this, I use this as a tray a lot to keep project pieces together. All right, those are my best hand stitching tips in my lap. I hope this video was helpful. Very excited about 2025 Let's Play. It's going to be starting in the beginning of January. I probably will have a video prior to that just to sort of give you some prep and maybe a teaser as to the colors we're going to use in January. Okay, happy stitching!